A very good afternoon to all. Today, on the eve of independence, our Regional Center Bangalore has organized a webinar on the theme Partition, Independence and Refugees. And today's resource person is Dr. Ganesh Bhatta, sir. Sir is a senior academic counselor and former principal of MES Teachers College. And Sir has been kindly consented to be the resource person for today's webinar and the theme with a short notice. And we thank him on behalf of IGNOU, on behalf of Regional Center Bangalore, on behalf of all the staff of RC Bangalore and the students for accepting our invitation to be the resource person for today's webinar. Sir, thanks for accepting our invitation and hearty welcome to you, sir, to the webinar. And I also thank our Senior Regional Director, Dr. S. Radha Madam, who is instrumental behind organizing this webinar. Thank you very much, Madam, for your support, and I welcome you on behalf of all the staff and students of RC Bangalore, Madam.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. And I also welcome our colleagues and Assistant Regional Director, Dr. Kasturi and Dr. Shanmugam, sir, and other staff of RC who have joined this meeting. Welcome you all to this webinar. And I also welcome all the academic counselors, all the coordinators joined this webinar, and also the special invitees from different colleges who have joined this meeting, who is associated with NU, not associated with NU, all have joined this webinar. Please, we welcome you on behalf of our Regional Center Bangalore, welcome you all. And I also welcome all the students who have joined this meeting. Some of the students, IGNOU students have joined, and some of the students from different colleges, they have joined this webinar. I welcome you all on behalf of our Regional Center Bangalore once again, and thank you very much for joining this webinar. And now I would request our Senior Regional Director, Dr. S. Radha Madam, to give the opening remarks on the webinar. Madam, please.
Thank you, ma'am. And good morning to all of you. Good afternoon to all of you. And hearty welcome to this national event. Partition Horrors Remembrance Day is an annual national memorial day observed on August 14th in India every year, remembering the victims and the sufferings of people during the 1947 partition of India. It was first observed in 2021 after announcement by our PM Narendra Modi sir. So as per the instructions received from the Regional Service Division, as a part of the observation of Partition Horrors Remembrance Day on August 14th, that is today, a webinar is arranged with our resource person, eminent resource person, Dr. H.N. Ganesha Barsad. He is also the member, Mysore Education Society, former principal of MES Teachers College, and former coordinator of IGNOU LSC, and also present and past and future counselor and expert of IGNOU in all the academic activities. He is an advisor also for IGNOU. Sir, thank you for accepting our invitation in a very short span of time. The day remember the sufferings of many Indians during the partition. Several families were displaced and many lost their lives in the partition. So it aims to remind the Indians that the need to remove social divisions, disharmony, and to further strengthen the spirit of oneness, social harmony, and human development. So every year, this day is observed by all the Indians. I wish that today's webinar will fulfill the motto of this observation of the today. And thankful to Dr. Hema Malini, ARD, and the coordinating officer of this webinar. Within a short span after yesterday night, I have informed to her. Thank you so much, madam, for arranging the webinar with an eminent expert too. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, thank you very much for the opening remarks. And now I would request the resource person of today's webinar, Dr. Ganesh Bhatta sir, sir, to give the presentation on the theme. Please, sir.
At the outset, I thank the RD IGNOU Bangalore Study Center, Regional Center, and Dr. Hema Malini, Shanmugam and Kasturi, who have lot of faith in me in giving me an opportunity at the nth hour. I came to know about this program just the afternoon of the previous day, and I took it as a challenge and then thought, why not the task of this would be done. I profusely thank the assistant professor in Serrano College, Sri Sachin Rosario, who overnight took trouble in making some slides for this partition, independence, and refugees. I spent nearly 4 hours midnight in order to collect information from various books. And one of the very famous book that I have studied is the French author, The Freedom at Midnight. If anybody reads that book, the tears not in the water that rolls, it is the blood that sheds from the ears. That was the kind of the horror that happened on the day of the partition. Now, if we want to know what actually is the partition, the independence, and the refugee, it is a very long history. Partition did not simply happen on the day of 1947, the 14th August. The background work had begun several decades ago. And the people of the Akhanda Bharat never thought that such a day would come in the history. And it was not the dream of Mohandas Karamchandra Gandhi, who was not a politician, who was a humanitarian, who was secularist to the core, and he in his heart had the human beings as one, never differentiated the people into caste, the creed, the community, the religion. To M.K. Gandhi, the humankind was one and only one. He wanted all people in India to live together. And even though Britishers made their ruling for over 200 years with the foreign people in India, Gandhi did not hate even one of the British officer. He always used to say, I hate the principles that you follow, but not the personalities who are following the principles. And this is the way in which he was thinking of the concept of independence. And he made the resolution that the Britishers, you are going to leave India not by force, but with your own volition. And even if you happen to make the violence against us, we will not make that kind of a violence. We should remember the Munna Bhai film that had come long, long ago, which said about if you slap on the one cheek, I'm ready to take the slap on the second cheek. This is what M.K. Gandhi did, and he made the disobedience movement, and he made the Quit India movement. All these things made us free on August 15th, 1947, what we call the Free Republic of India. Now let us go back and find out what actually the partition is, what is independence, and what is refugee. Here goes the presentation. Now, in order to understand the concept of partition,
Sir, you're not, not audible.
I'm not audible.
Now, okay, sir.
What all I spoke now, you are not able to hear?
Yeah, that will, now, just now,
Yes.
just now.
There is just a technical error. We
Yes.
will correct it.
Are you able to present, sir?
Yes, I'm going to do that.
Yes, sir.
I hope you can see the screen.
Not, okay, sir. Now visible. But again, it went off, sir. Now, okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I can proceed with the presentation.
Yes, sir. You can proceed.
Okay. My special thanks to Indira Gandhi National Open University again. Now, when it comes to the partition, India's tryst with destiny, partition, independence, and the refugee crisis. The map that you see is the Akhanda Bharat. The Bharat had grown to such extent. Now we see the Vikhanda Bharat. Now, when it comes to the partition, the seed of partition was sowed in 1904. Lord Curzon, then Viceroy of Bangalore, proposed the partition of Bengal into two parts, the East and the West. For ease of administration, in 1905, it was split into East Bengal and West Bengal. The partition resulted in West Bengal, which is the Hindu majority territory, and East Bengal, a Muslim major territory. This is one of the states Hindu Muslim. The agenda and the repercussions of the partition. The aim was to create rift in between two communities and hamper the unity and nationalism. This was the concept that was there with the Britishers' divide and rule policy. There was widespread political unrest in the province and in national level. East Bengal condemned this partition in insult to their motherland. Even today, we know the kind of the problems that the Bengal is facing. West Bengal was neutral as they believed the East Bengal was poorly developed and did not prosper due to the business dominance of Hindus. It was in the year 1906 the Muslim League was found, and in 1909 separate electorate was introduced as Morley Minto reforms. The reforms were well accepted by the Muslim League but rejected by the Indian National Congress. This strengthened Muslim League stand against Indian National Congress. The rift started. Swadeshi and boycott movement created a jolt in the British government, and hence the partition was annulled in the year 1911. Though the protest was success, but the undercurrent was about to rift India forever. We are eating the fruits even to this day. Despite the efforts of the gap between the Hindus and the Muslims could not be bridged, there was a joint session held between Muslim League and INC in December 1916 in Lucknow, which is called Lucknow Pact 1916. Under Lucknow Pact, INC agreed to give separate electorate for Muslims in provincial council elections. Please see the kind of the things that had happened with a country like India, which always believed in Sarve Janaha Sukhino bhavantu, Sangachadvam, Samvadadvam, Samvo vadamsi, Janatam, Sahana bhavatu, Sahana vavanuktu, Sahaviryam karavavahe. We are the people who have said it time since the time immemorial that we need to live together. But the partition concept started long, long time ago in this motherland, India. This brought two things under limelight. Muslim League was looked upon as a sole hope for all Indian Muslims, and communalism was now an unavoidable part of Indian politics. Therefore, today we think of the communalism as a party rule in many of the political parties also. Now, 1916 to 1927 is considered the golden period of Indian independence and unity. The Khailafat movement and non-cooperation movement was in its glory. The Chauri Chaura incident made Gandhiji declare that India is not ready for its independence and recalled non-cooperation movement. That means India could have gone for the independence even before 1947. This created a vacuum in the effort and disillusionment among people, instigating the mob clashes. Think of the kind of the mob clashes that are happening across the world today. Just recently, what has happened in Bangladesh. The country witnessed 88 communal riots between 1923 and 1927. 1930 to 1940, it was in 1930 the Muslim League began to advocate two-nation theory, advocating creation of Hindu and Muslim nations that has different history, culture, and traditions. What a concept it was. They wanted to have two nations in the same land. One nation to Hindus, another nations to Muslims. I'm going to speak about it, who opposed it and who supported it. In 1933, a student of Cambridge University, Chaudhry Rahmat Ali, called the name of separate nation to be Pakistan in the year 1933 itself. In 1937, provincial election Muslim League lost its seats share with only 25% on its side. In 1940, table turned for Muslim League and passed Lahore Resolution, Pakistan Resolution, and received a great support. For please do not think that the division happened only on the midnight of the 14th of August. It had begun decades before. Muslim League convinced Muslims that Congress is doing no good to Muslims and hence they need to support the Muslim League in upcoming elections. That is how the campaigns with Muslims and Hindus began during 1940s itself. 1940 and 1947 is the crucial period. Muslim League won all its 30 reserved seats and other seats as well, creating a strong hold in the minds of its supporters. Meanwhile, British separated to transfer the power to India and proposed three options: the Cripps Mission, the Wavell Plan, the Cabinet Mission Plan. But both parties did not agree on any of these proposals. Muslim League chose 16th August 1946 as Direct Action Day and created a large-scale communal riots. We just do not know the total number of victims who shed their blood, the women who were harassed, the children who were killed. In February 1947, British Prime Minister Clement Attlee declared in House of Commons that India will be freed on or before 1948. British curbed the riots and placed new viceroy Lord Mountbatten for smooth transmission power to India on or before June 1948. The partition happened in the way it was supposed to happen, totally against the whole concept of manaviyate, or the humanitarian concept. Lord Mountbatten separated the nation, namely India and Pakistan, which came into existence from 15th August 1947. Accordingly, he further split Punjab and Bengal. Both provinces were large in size and had huge populations of Muslims, Hindus, and Sikhs. This is the story of the partition. When the partition took place, India had 563 princely states, which became independent according to Lord Mountbatten. 560 princely states signed the instrument of accession, and they accepted the proposal of Vallabhbhai Patel. The three princely states, Janark, Hyderabad, Jammu and Kashmir, chose to be independent. But it is because of the judicious thinking on the part of Vallabhbhai Patel, these three were also merged into the Indian provinces. The Jammu Kashmir, Raja Hari Singh, the case was a little different. The king, Harish, citing the alarming situation, signed instrumentation of accession on 26 October 1947 with India. Indian army resisted Pakistani army from proceeding further, and that region is now called the Pakistan line of control, the POK border. Even today, India is fighting to see that that border is made as the border of the Indians. Now, this is further information that is there with reference to the participation. After participation, partition, Pakistan is known as Islamic Republic of Pakistan since 1956 and the People's Republic of Bangladesh in 1971. Two provisions were divided into Bengal and Punjab based on Muslim majorities. Partition resulted in division of British Indian Army, the Royal Indian Navy, the Indian Civil Service, the Indian Railways, and the Central Treasury too. Even the money that was there with India, it was said that what part of the central money should go to Pakistan and what part of the money should go to India. It was outlined in the Indian Independence Act 1947 and resulted in dissolution of British Raj. All India Muslim propagated the idea that, please listen to this very carefully, Indian Muslims and Indian Hindus were two different nations. It was suggested by Hindu Mahasabha as well. Other many organizations like the Indian National Congress, All India Azad Muslim Conference, Khuda Khidamat Gar, All India Anglo-Indian Association, Association of Indian Christians, Chief Khalsa Diwan strongly opposed the idea. The prominent leaders who had opposed the idea were Mahatma Gandhi, Abdul Kalam. Abdul Kalam was not there at the time. A.G. Khan, Frank Anthony, Purushottam Das Tandon, Maulana Azad, Tara Singh, Allah Baks, Somro opposed the partition of India. Muhammad Ali Jinnah demanded either a divided India or a destroyed India. I repeat this. Muhammad Ali Jinnah demanded either a divided India or a destroyed India. He called the day as Direct Action Day, which led to a terrible communal violence. I have already told about it. Remember, the state of India officially rejected the two-nation theory and chose to be a secular state, enshrining the concepts of religious pluralism and composite nationalism. This is what is the story of the partition. Now let us know about the concept of independence. What is independence? If we say that the two people are independent of one another, it means that one will not poke his nose into the affairs of the other. Similarly, all the countries in the globe are independent by themselves. They have their living, they have their policies, they know what is to be done with them. But still there are many countries whose name I am not going to utter here in the public. They are the nations which are still controlled by the superpowers, and they listen to what they say. But we, the Indians, should feel very proud that we are republic, we are democratic, and we are sovereign, and we know how to rule ourselves, and nobody rules us now other than the people of India. The Constitution of India, therefore, it declares in its preamble, we the people of India hereby declare ourselves and give ourselves this Constitution to ourselves. It's a beautiful thing. Therefore, who controls India? It is not the politicians, it is not the chief ministers, it is not the prime ministers, it is not the MPs, it is not the MLAs, it is not the corporators, it is the people of India who are the rulers of India. The independence began to flow in this way. 1947 to 48, Lord Mountbatten was the Governor General. 1948 to 1950, C. Rajagopalachari was the Governor General. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was the first Prime Minister of India. India's total land is 31 lakhs 160,000 square kilometers. In 1949-56, the total population of India, including Muslims, Hindus, Sikhs, Jains, all kind of people, was 36 crores. In the year 2024, it is 140 crores. It is fourfold increase of the population. Now, with such a big country, protecting India and protecting independence is the responsibility of all people, whether literate, illiterate, a poor or a rich, a person with academics or no academics, whoever it is, we need to see that our country holds its high in the top of the world. That is why we commemorate the eve of independence, the 14th August, as the horror remembrance day. So many people, if you read The Freedom at Midnight, you will come to know the kind of the clashes that happened in the moving train, the kind of the clashes that happened in the bus, the kind of the clashes that happened near the well, the clashes that happened in the farmland, the clashes that happened in the homes, the clashes that happened in the schools, the clashes that happened in the streets of India. With all these kinds of the dismay that is there, with the negative components in the Indian land, still India holds in the world its top position in protecting the refugees across the border. Who are the refugees? A refugee is one who has been forced to flee conflict or persecution and has crossed an international border to seek safety. I remember Albert Einstein, who fled from Germany, Berlin, to England. Adolf Hitler wanted to finish the life of Einstein. He took all his scientific paper and burned in the public to see that he hates Albert Einstein. It was a loss to Germany and a gain to England. Refugees are the people who cannot return to their country without risking their life or freedom. India hosts refugees from Tibet, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Afghanistan, Somalia, and Palestine. It can be solved only on the basis of humanitarianism, mindset, national security, and legal systems. United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees guards the refugees. It is an NGO. Refugee can become a citizen with terms and conditions. India protects not only its citizens but refugees too. It is enshrined in the Article 29, which says the state to protect the life and liberty of anyone within the territory. And the refugee cannot apply for an Aadhaar card in India. The famous refugees in India. 14th Dalai Lama came to India in 1959 with 80,000 followers, and their number has risen to lakhs today. We see one of the nearest refugee center, which is there in Kushalnagar in the Mysore and Kodagu region. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru agreed to allow Tibetans to settle in India until their eventual return to Tibet. And eventual return to Tibet is they need to return to Tibet on their own card. It is volitional. India will not send them back to Tibet. If they feel that they could stay in India, they can continue to stay in India. But this is what is the way in which the whole story of the partition, the independence, and the refugee has happened in the Indian land. India is a country which has not simply taught the lesson of Shanti Mantra, it is following the Shanti Mantra. Many countries hate India, but India never hates any country. We can see this happening in the field of sport, field of entertainment, the field of space technology, field of medicine. People across the globe come for the medical help in India. People across the globe come for the IITs, IICs, in order to learn, in order to get educated. Therefore, all of us, whoever is the viewer and who has not viewed, communicate to them that the independence has not come on its own. Independence has come with lot of struggle, and independence is the result of the people who have worked day in and day out without food, without water, without shelter. For I wish all the viewers of the IGNO program a very happy Independence Day that is to be celebrated on 15th of August 1947. It was celebrated. Now in the year 2024, let us celebrate with a new vigor, and let us not spread the hatredness, the reluctance among the religions. We need to live together. The caste, creed, the community, the race, all these ideas should go, and we should say that we are all one. To speak it in terms of the Mahakavi, Rashtrakavi, Kuvempu, Vishwa, Manava, Kalpane, we called it as the universal human. He says, O Nanna Chetana, Aguni Aniketana, ಎಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ನಿಲ್ಲದಿರು ಮನೆಯನೆಂದು ಕಟ್ಟದಿರು. The whole concept is that beautiful that we are the global people today. So let us spread the message for our children, our school curriculum, if at all it determines to change. All concept of hatredness, all things that had happened in the religion so far in making India, the atrocities that have happened, all these contents must be removed from the curriculum in the schools and the colleges. What needs to be told is the way in which we are going to make a new India, an elevated India, where the people will live with harmony. I wish all the best to each one of you. Once again, very happy Independence Day. Thank you very much.
Sir, tumba thanks. Tumba thanks. Very informative, very valuable session. Now, we also don't know many issues. We learned today from you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Sir, tumba thanks. Kelishta idea, madam?
Yeah, yes, madam. You are audible, madam. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you very much for the informative and very valuable session. We have learned a lot from your session, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, miss.
Yes,
Very
sir.
nice session, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Sir, if they have any questions,
Oh, they can
any
ask.
students
No
are
problem.
there.
If I have the
Anybody
answer, I
wants
will.
any clarity? If any student is there, you can ask.
At least one question from the participant. I see here somebody, Sinam.
Hi, sir. I'm Shobha. Sir,
Yes.
good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
My name is Shobha. I am from Chikmagalur. I am MAPC student, and also I am working as an English teacher in government high school. My interest is whatever you told us. It is very much important in this situation, sir. But educated, all learned people, they are not eager to live peacefully in all with all religion, and they are not agree with these concept. How can we change them, sir?
See, changing someone is always a difficult thing,
Yes, sir.
DBG ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ತಿದ್ದಿಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ನಿನ್ನ ನೀಂ ಜಗವ ತಿದ್ದುವುದಿಲ್ಲ.
ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಹೌದು.
But we cannot stop. You are an English teacher. As
Yes,
you
sir.
teach in the class, supposing there are some lessons which are controversial, you must be able to say the positive
Yes.
component of the lessons first. The
Ah,
negatives are always there. Nobody
yes.
says that, for example, the Babri Masjid is demolished.
Yes, sir.
Now, there are hundreds of reasons for it. Now, if you
Yes.
happen to go through the history of India, there are many such kind of things that have happened. Now, do you think we need to go back and then destroy the rest of the things over there? If we happen to start doing it, the other people will think that there may be another temple. See what is happening in Pakistan. You don't find the temples in Pakistan today. Even the small temples, they are crushed into ash. And the way the minorities are protected in India, no other country in the world protects the minorities. What is minority? Minority is religious minority and linguistic minority. For example, in Karnataka, the Malayalis are the minorities. Telugu people are the minorities. In terms of the religion, Muslims become minority, Christians become minority, Sikhs become minority. Minority is a small population which is there in a big country. Now in India, 80% are Hindus and 20% of the other religions. This 20% of whoever is there, they become minorities. Now in Pakistan, almost 90% of the population is the Islamic population. Very, very small number of around 5%, 6% like that are Hindus. And they have a lot of suffering there. They are not protected well. Minorities got to be protected. And in the Constitution of India, Article 30 gives the protection for the minorities. Article 350 gives the protection for the minorities. Therefore, ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಳೆ ದಿನ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಡೇ ಇದೆ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡೋಕೆ ಒಂದು ಅವಕಾಶ ಸಿಕ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು, ನೀವು ಒಬ್ರನ್ನೊಬ್ರು ಹೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ, ನೀವು ಒಬ್ರೊಬ್ರು ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರಿ, ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರೋದಲ್ಲ, ದೊಡ್ಡವರಾದ್ಮೇಲೂ ನೀವು ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಸಂದೇಶ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಅವರು ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ವಾ, ನಾವು ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ವಲ್ಲ.
We just follow it.
Maybe we should tell them.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir. Your speech is so inspiring, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. It was so informative, and you have enlightened us toward this partition and other issues today. I take this opportunity to thank you on behalf of our Senior Regional Director and on behalf of all the staff of Regional Center Bangalore, sir. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation to be the resource person, and thanks for enlightening us, sir. Thank you very much. Welcome. I also thank our Senior Regional Director, Radha Madam, who gave all the support to conduct this webinar. Thank you very much, Madam, on behalf of all the staff. I thank my colleagues, Assistant Regional Directors, Dr. M. Shanmugam and Kasturi Pesla, and all the Assistant Registrar and other staff of RC for joining this webinar and participated very actively in the webinar. Thank you very much to you all. I also thank all the coordinators, academic counselors, and other special invitees from other colleges, assistant professors, and others who have joined this webinar. Thank you very much for joining with us. And I also thank all the students, IGNOU students and other college students who have joined this webinar. Thank you very much, one and all, and a very good afternoon to you all once again. And happy Independence Day too. Thank you.
Just a minute.
Yes, sir.
Now, in order to make all these things to happen, my mother home, the MES Teachers College,